The next thing I want to show you is how to create a pattern. If you look at the original Eddie's poster, I created a pattern in here. And what I want to do now is I'm just going to zoom in to an area. What I want to do now is create a little box that I'm going to duplicate over and over. The first thing first is I want to pick a gray, and I think I'm going to pick it as a stroke. I must have something selected. I do. Okay. And I'm going to create a little rectangle. And then what I want to do is I'm going to create another box around it. And I'll explain why. Here I'm turning off the fill. I want to align both of them. Center horizontally, center vertically. Once I have them both selected, I'm going to create a pattern, object, pattern, make. And here's all my different options. I can have width, height if I want it to change. I can have it set to grid. It's telling me that a new pattern has been added to my swatches. I can just hit don't show again. If I wanted to adjust my variables, I have it all here. So let's just say 7 out of 5. You can see what's happening on the screen right now. 3. Okay, you can have things overlap or not. The reason why I separated it and I didn't have just a square is because I wanted to have the white space between the objects. If I only had it as a square, the next one would be touching. So I wanted that break. So that's why I have this square without any fills and without a stroke. And then I'm happy, so I'm going to hit done. If I zoom out, I can now delete this guy. And I'm going to create a new shape here. And if I close all these down and go over to your swatches, it was telling me that I have a new swatch created. On this side here, on this 4th row down, these are all my pattern swatches. These are the system default ones right here, and this is the new one that I created. If I use my black selection tool, I can actually just drag out the corners here, and it should have a nice solid fill. And I want to turn off, I don't want a stroke on that. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and make sure I have a nice clean edge. I don't want any overlaying on it. Okay. So the other main difference between this poster and the original is I just have this little icon here. I literally just made it by tracing objects. And I'm going to show you how you can do that with the pen tool. And again, I want to make sure that this is within that window size. And I might just have to arrow key it over a bit, actually. And if you want to change the opacity up, click under the properties. If you don't see the properties, you can go to Window, Properties, and it'll come up on your sidebar. Right now it's at 15% opacity. If I change it to 50, you'll see a little bit better. And if I want, I can right click, arrange, bring to front, and it comes to the very front of detailed, so nothing else is hiding behind it. How to create this, what I'm going to do is go into my layers. I want to double click this and call this black poster. And I'll lock it for a second so I don't actually draw on this. And right now I'm just going to create a shape here. So here I have a rectangle. The next thing that I want to do is click away. I'm going to make this white. I'm going to click down and a rounded rectangle tool. Actually, first what I want to do is I want to add transparency to this so I can see what I'm doing. Clicking over on the side here, I have my opacity, and let's bring it down to 38% so I can see what's inside. Okay, now I am going to double click, change this to white so I can see that it's a new object. And I'm just going to go over top of this, click away. If you do that, it's because you're on the wrong tool. You need to go on the selection tool to click away. And again, I just made these little ones up. Click away. Or what you could do is just Control C, Control V, paste it in. Or you can hold Alt and it just duplicates it. And if you really want, you can now click all of these. Control C, Control V, move these down. I select all of these and Control G or Command G. Now they're all grouped. What I want to do is I want to create transparency. All this white, I want to actually knock it out. I don't want it to be there. So I'm going to hold Shift and click on the back and Window, Pathfinder. And I'm going to hit this one right here, which is minus front. And there I'll have my transparency. So this is the new one that I just created, which is essentially pretty much the same as the other one. And that's how you create this poster. The next thing that I want to show you is how to work with artboards. So to create two different versions is I can create another artboard by clicking down here, new artboard. So this is a second one. If I want to copy aspects of it, I can highlight over top of everything as long as there's nothing in my layers that are locked, which actually there is. I can delete this. My logos I should put in my black poster. And if I want to duplicate this, Control A, Control C, Control V, and using the black selection tool, which is essentially also my move tool, I can move this over. And then let's say I want to start making some different designs, I have the two to work with. And that's it. So now I'm going to start explaining how I created the other poster.